but it is going to be dry most of the day. So coastal flood warning will be in effect later on today. Overnight, heavy rain and wind, and that wind is really going to pick up when this rain moves on out of here. That cold front that is going to kick off that rain moves on out of here by Monday. That's when we can expect a wind gust between 25 and 30 miles per hour. Here's a look into Annapolis, the city dock right now. Are you riding your bike through the flooded waters? We say turn around, don't drown, you guys. Oh, you just turned around. There you go. You listened to me. Look, it is going to be a wet day there along the city dock with that flooding. It is going to make its way to the businesses, as we'll have moderate coastal flooding during those high tides. We just passed high tide, and now it is starting to decrease a little bit, but our next high tide will be at 5 p.m. later on. 62 is the temperature in Annapolis. Clear skies all across the area, but again, we are going to be tracking coastal flooding not only in Anne Arundel County, but all along the Chesapeake coastline there to this afternoon. That's when the warning will go in effect, and then that will last until 8, and then we'll go back into that advisory range. Moderate coastal flooding expected during high tide. Again, the next one is at 5:04 p.m. It is dry right now across the area, but as we zoom out here, we see our next weather maker. It's a cold front, a really strong cold front that is going to be making its way into our region by this evening. So you have a beautiful day in store. It's just into the evening when the sun goes down when we're going to bring in that inclement weather. I would say after 8 p.m. you'll start getting in on some rainfall here in the metro. It will taper off early Monday morning, and that wind gust will pick up. Here's a little bit more on that timing. You can see a few raindrops here and there by 7. Heavy rain out in western Maryland. Then we get in on the heavy rain by around 10, lasting overnight and into early Monday morning. By the time many of us are waking up and hitting the roads for our morning commute, should be dry and even clearing out with our sky condition. But another thing I want you to keep in mind, we could have some instability enough to support some spin. And so where you're seeing this darker shade of green here, that's a 2% chance of a brief spin up of a tornado. So have that severe weather safety plan in place as you go to bed tonight, just in case you get one of those tornado warnings. It's a low chance though, but it's not zero. The wind is going to pick up into tomorrow. Again, 30 mile per hour wind gusts can be expected at times, but we do have that impact icon on. Now it looks dry for the whole 7 days, but again, in between Sunday and Monday, that's when we're going to have the heavy rain moving in, but most of those days are going to be quite nice and said. So much of the day, enjoy it. It's going to be mild. It's going to be a little on the sunny side as well, but there is some coastal flooding that I'm tracking in the middle of the day, and that's in Anne Arundel County and even parts of Baltimore County. So we're going to have that coastal flood warning going into effect later into the day. That heavy rain will be moving on into the region tonight, overnight, and into early Monday morning. It's going to be out of here by the time many of us hit the roadways, but the wind gusts will be sticking around. 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts for Monday. So that's what we're going to be tracking. Here's a look at the live camera, taking a look at a city dock there where that flood water is making it to that sidewalk of those businesses. We're starting off in the 60s in Annapolis. Clear skies, but we are on a rise with our temperatures around the region. It's like the 60s and 50s, but it is going to get warmer. We'll talk more about what we can expect as we move throughout our morning and into our evening in a few minutes.
All right.
A beautiful day for much of the afternoon, but when that sun sets, things can get a little bumpy into the evening hours. And as we move throughout the day, although it is going to be nice, there's some areas of coastal flooding that we're going to be watching. If you are along the Anne Arundel County coastline, the Anne Arundel County coastline and the Chesapeake coastline, so even extending into Baltimore County, the city, you do want to be mindful that higher than normal tides will be there this afternoon. So coastal flood warning, that's going to be for Anne Arundel County. Overnight, heavy rain and wind, and that wind will be sticking around into Monday, even when the rain is all out of here. Here's a look into Annapolis, the city dock. We passed high tide a couple of hours ago, and so now things are starting to improve, but you can see that water made it all the way to the sidewalk there just outside of the businesses. So things are improving right now, but by the afternoon, 5:04 p.m. is going to be the next high tide. That's when that water will flood into that moderate range, so approaching those businesses again. So take precautions if you are in one of those flood-prone establishments there. Now, looking at our temperatures in Annapolis is at the 60s, in the 60s right now. Clear skies across the area. We are going to warm up, but again, we are going to keep an eye on the coastal flooding along the Chesapeake coastline, and that warning will go in effect at 2 p.m. lasting until 8 this evening, and then it will return back into that advisory warning and alert. Now, looking at our radar and satellite, barely a cloud in the sky here in Baltimore. Taking a wide view of things, you see a prominent cold front out west. That's going to continue to trek our way, and by this evening, that's when we're going to see the rain in. I would say after 8 p.m., that's when a few drops could start falling. It's really going to pick up overnight. It will taper early in the morning on Monday. So before any of us really hit the road, or most of us hit the road, it should be dry out there, or at least clearing for sure. Here's a look at it on Futurecast. Heavy rain moving in from the west. It's going to be here by 10 p.m. You see that the orange and even some reds. That's that moderate to heavy rainfall, and then lasting into that overnight, starting to improve after 12 o'clock into Monday. Now, I want to let you know that there's a 2% chance of a brief spin up of a tornado. We could have enough instability to support that. In this darker shading of green, if you're in that area, you want to have a severe weather plan in place for the overnight. This is a low chance, but it's not zero. So please be careful this evening. Now, as we look at our next 7 days, every day looks dry, but do know, again, in between